Well, hey guys, Josh King here, and wanted to bring to you a question from my friend Barksdale, who asks, best editing software for beginner, then what to grow into? That is a great question, and props to you, Barksdale, because that's the first question that pertains to the other very important side of video production, and that's post-production, editing. The two primary editing softwares out there, the two industry standard programs, are Adobe Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro. But those are not the only two options available to you, and they may not even necessarily be the best options to you. And I would not recommend either of those programs to beginners. There's just a lot that goes into the editing process, and you really need to kind of get your feet wet in what a video editing workflow looks like before you kind of jump into either of those, Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro. If you are on a Mac, if you live in Apple world, I would say, like I do, for the most part I use a Mac, but I also jump back and forth between Mac and PC. Most of the videos that I edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, and I do that on a Mac and a PC. So anyway, if you are on a Mac, I highly recommend utilizing the iMovie software that comes on your Mac for free. It's one of the best beginner-friendly video editing softwares out there on the market. Unfortunately, it's only available to those who are on the Mac platform. So if they have an Apple MacBook, iMac, Mac Pro, iMovie is just going to come standard. And what you'll find is it's a really easy interface to get to know. It also paves the way for you to jump directly into Final Cut Pro. Think of Final Cut Pro as kind of the more advanced, bigger brother of iMovie. And so between iMovie and Final Cut Pro, you kind of have a pathway from beginner friendly to more advanced. When you jump into Final Cut Pro, you'll see things look really similar. The interface looks more familiar if you've already gotten to know iMovie. I will say iMovie is fairly limited, so don't expect it to do a ton of fancy transitions or effects. There's some presets, there's some color filters that you're able to use similarly to the way that you would use Instagram. But just don't expect it to give you a ton of flexibility. If you're looking for those more advanced tools or more flexibility, that's when you'll have to make the jump to Final Cut Pro. Okay, so having recommended iMovie for anyone on a Apple Mac platform, now I want to dive into two programs that are available to anyone, regardless of whether you're working on a Mac or you're working on a PC. The first one is called Davinci Resolve. And Davinci Resolve comes in two versions. One is a free version and the other is a paid studio version. The free Davinci Resolve is one of the most powerful video editing softwares on the market for free. In fact, a lot of people joke about the fact that you can get so much in this program and it's absolutely free. With any video editing software, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. It does take a little while to get used to the user interface to kind of figure out where tools are. However, once you find where things are and you find out just how to take advantage of the workflow, you would be amazed at everything that you can do within Davinci Resolve. So I won't dive into a lot of the details as far as how to use it. There's a lot of great material. In fact, Davinci Resolve actually has its own really helpful tutorial videos online. And so I'd encourage you to take a look at that. Brady Shearer from Pro Church Tools also recommended Davinci Resolve. In fact, he's actually switched entirely from Premiere Pro and Final Cut to Davinci Resolve. And so there are a lot of people who use Davinci Resolve for high-end video production. So don't think of it as just for beginners. Check that one out. Now, one that I'm particularly excited about that I just discovered, in fact, I think it's still fairly new, is a program called Descript. This one is very unique. It's free on a very basic plan that allows you, I think, just to edit one project at a time. However, for $12 a month, you can make unlimited projects. One of the things that I really love about Descript is the very unique workflow. It's unlike any other software that I've used. The unique feature is that you're able to edit your video as if you were editing a Word document. So you would have a script document pulled up. In fact, Descript can actually transcribe an existing video that you've shot. You upload it and you can have it transcribe, or you can use another service like rev.com to transcribe your video, and then you can import that script in. Then you can actually read through your script and edit your video based on what you're doing to the script itself. For instance, you know, when you're shooting something like this video here, I'm gonna eliminate a lot of pauses. There's some things that I say that I want to take out later. Descript makes it super easy to go in, read through the script of your video, and then just simply delete the sections, delete the lines, the sentences, the words directly out of the script. And by doing that, you're also going to cut it from the video. So hopefully that makes sense. It's really a fascinating software. In fact, I've edited this video with Descript. And so check it out. I think it makes video editing a lot more accessible in a really cool way to a lot more people. So it's a game changer for sure. So check out Davinci Resolve, check out Descript. I've linked to both of them in the description below. Thanks so much, Barksdale, for asking that question. It was a great one. If you happen to have a question about video, whether it be about video production or video editing, I'd love the opportunity to answer it in an upcoming episode. So send that question to me at josh@joshuakingmedia.com. Until the next video, see ya.